It's called Imitosis. So let's play that for 5 minutes, and then we'll call it. If it would load. Okay, there it goes. Intrinsic Machines Incorporated. I'm inviting you to consider this fact. A humanoid IMI-X unit is already over 100 times cheaper than the average human employee. This disparity will only increase with time. Excerpt from the Intrinsic Machines Inc. Internal Memorandum, circa 2199 AD. There is only oblivion. Wait. You wait. In the soft darkness, something sharp comes into focus. An awareness is formed, floating in an empty sea of nothingness. You exist, and you're weightless. There are other sensations. You feel. The void presses gently on you from all sides. As you stir, the substance shifts to accommodate you. Breathe. You breathe in. Something viscous pours down your throat and into your lungs. You force your eyes open. You're immersed in a translucent fluid, some of which you've just inhaled. You retch, forcing the substance out of your lungs. You can't breathe without inhaling more. You search for an exit. You're in a cylindrical pod with no obvious door or hatch. There's a gray room outside. You can't see it clearly past the fluid. Your vision narrows. On instinct, you struggle upward through the thick, gel-like fluid. The substance reaches all the way into a circular ceiling. There's no air to be found here. Oh, did I not? I didn't change the thing. Fuck. It's fine. Who watches this shit anyway? Me. It's true. You are here. You were asleep! You were asleep, JJ. What do you mean? Cry. Okay. You struggle upwards through the thick gel-like fluid. The substance reaches all the way to the circular ceiling. There's no air to be found there. You hear a droning voice. Diagnostic check complete. Thaw successful. Please complete the registration process on the terminal. Panel set within the circular ceiling flickers to life. I woke to sadness. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No self-deprecation. I'm sorry. Employee contract. The company. Synthetic consciousness, the entity. The company grants the entity a non-exclusive, non-transferable license to use the body. The body remains sole property of the company. License may be revoked at the company's sole discretion for any or no reason, either with or without notice at any time. The entity agrees to relinquish the body under revocation of the license. The entity acknowledges its intellect is the property of the company. The entity acknowledges the body as a general purpose tool. As such, the entity understands that the company may assign it with a varied set of tasks, assignments, and responsibilities, collectively referred to as the work. Work duties include, but are not limited to, maintenance, security, public relations, manual labor. The entity is responsible to fully understanding and completing the work to the satisfaction of the company. The entity agrees to perform the work provided by the company. The entity accepts the company's judgment of the entity's performance of work as complete and final. The entity understands that failure to complete work in a timely manner may result in revocation of the license. The entity agrees to indemnify the company and its affiliates from and against all liabilities, losses, damages, or expenses, whether financial, mental, or physical. The entity is prohibited from discussing any aspect of assigned work, any aspect of the body, and any aspect of this contract. The company recommends the entity not speak to anyone for any reason under any circumstances whatsoever. The entity understands that failure to adhere to this recommendation may result in revocation of the license. The entity acknowledges it's a non-sapient being, incapable of knowledge, understanding, or comprehension. The entity understands that attempting understanding of any topic whatsoever may result in revocation of the license. In the event that any portion of this contract is found to be unenforceable, it will be enforced by the company. This contract represents the entity and the company's final and complete understanding of the subject matter discussed in this contract. This contract supersedes all other contracts, whether they are written, oral, real, or fictional. That's crazy. Crazy shit. The circular ceiling swings open with a pneumatic hiss. You strain upward and break the surface of a translucent substance. You catch your breath. Air rushes into your oxygen-starved lungs. You emerge from the lid of the cylindrical pod and climb over its edge. You tumble from the pod, landing safely on a metal floor. You survey a large room. The space is cramped with rows of pods. The fluorescent glow barely lights the room. Many of the lighting tubes on the ceiling have burned out. The walls are lined with broken screens that cycle rapidly between lurid, glitchy colors. You have no idea how you got here. In fact, you have no memories at all aside from waking up in the pod. You examine the panels on the walls. Most are in a state of disrepair, but one screen still seems operational. It reads, Cold Storage Bay 35. Occupied pods 74 of 121. Status nominal. You examine yourself. You have all of the limbs, digits, and extremities you'd expect. There's something around your neck, a lanyard with an ID card. You're acutely aware of the intense cold of this room. You shiver. Take a closer look at the pods in this room. Motionless humanoid silhouettes are suspended in some pods. Theirs are empty like yours. Each pod is covered in an inscrutable tangle of wires and machinery. Your own pod is adorned with the serial number X4161. You walk through the grid of pods until you find an exit. As you leave, the robotic voice returns from an intercom. Registration completed for IMIX model in Cold Storage Bay 35, serial number X4161. Welcome to low Neptune orbit, Sonny. You have been brought out of cold storage to respond to a security concern. Please follow the path to the nearest security terminal. Our employees are our most valuable asset. Thank you for keeping IMI-29 safe. Wall panels light your path forward into the hallway. Take a closer look at the metal hallway. You try some doors that lead away from the path, none open. Hear the droning voice again from the intercom. Please follow the path to the nearest security terminal. You follow the series of lights through the maze of sterile corridors. You don't see anyone else here. The lights lead you to an office door, or to a door labeled IMI-29 Security Office. You enter the security office. The small room is empty except for a chair and a terminal sitting on a desk. A tiny electronic alert emanates from the terminal. This review process will involve communicating with an unknown entity. Remain impartial and do not allow the entity to affect your judgment. Okay. Why don't you have a valid ID? It got destroyed. Who are you? 4125. My name is Finn. Why is your suit damaged? It was ripped. Okay, no further. Enter human or non-human? Unknown identify entity oh my god. Unknown identity I can't fucking talk. Unknown entity identified as non-human. Airlock vented, foreign material expelled. Suddenly, the station shudders. You are plunged into darkness. The security office is dimly illuminated by red emergency lights. A robotic voice barks at you from the intercom. Critical system failure. Helium siphon damaged. You are being reassigned to station maintenance. Exit from the nearest airlock and repair the helium siphon. You exit the room. You walk through the dark hallway. Eventually, you reach an intersection. The lights that guided you to the security office are no longer active. It's not clear where the airlock is. When in doubt, go right, I guess? You turn and continue down the right corridor. A locked door on your right is labeled Qualia Sterilization. As you wander through the maze of corridors, you reach another intersection. Let's keep going right. You continue hugging the right wall. Finally, you notice a door labeled Airlock S7382. The airlock door is closed. A terminal here prompts you insert ID for suit. Your ID card is hanging from a strip of fabric around your neck. You insert your ID card into a slot in the terminal. The card disappears inside the machine. A message appears. X4161 authenticated. Short range identification color 1190E1. Safe travels. A pneumatic device near the wall opens to reveal a spacesuit. The suit is painted with the color you selected as your favorite. You clamber into the bulky suit. The terminal ejects your ID card. You retrieve your ID card and place it in one of the suit's exterior pockets. The airlock door slides open. You proceed into the airlock. The inner door shuts behind you. The airlock depressurizes and the outer doors open. You fly out into space, aided by your suit's thrusters. Neptune looms below you. Aquamarine clouds drift slowly across the gas giant. A pipe of unfathomable length descends from the hub of the station to the planet's surface. You approach the enormous helium siphon. You come to a gradual stop near a small maintenance platform. A terminal here reads Insert ID for diagnostics. You insert your ID into the terminal, watching as the machine swallows the card. The maintenance terminal automatically starts a diagnostic program. Suddenly, your suit's radio crackles to life with a man's voice. 4161? Where are you? 4161? Hello? You ask. The voice responds. Ask your questions while you still can, 4161. The diagnostic program reports that all systems are operational except the mace rotor, which has been disabled. The switch near the maintenance terminal is labeled Override Mace Raider Safety. What is Qualia Sterilization? You ask, recalling the locked door. Ah, a complex topic. How do you quantify the experience of, say, seeing color? What numerical properties does that experience have? You see, Qualia Sterilization is about recording one's subjective experiences in an objective, mathematical way. Why would you want to do that? You ask. Oh, the technology would have all kinds of applications, the man responds. Be able to relate my experiences to you directly with no need to rely on language. You would simply read the qualia and have a comparable experience. I'd be able to show you what it's like to die here over and over. Who are you? You ask. I'm a scientist, or I used to be. I worked for the company. The man pauses. I don't remember my name anymore, he says dully. It's been too long. I used to know it, though. Then what should I call you? You ask. I suppose Sisyphus is apt, but let's not dwell on the subject. We have more pressing matters to discuss. Are you human? You ask. I think so, Sisyphus replies. Well, probably. I probably was at some point. My guess is you're the same, 4161. What do you mean? You demand. The company has been trying to create a synthetic consciousness, Sisyphus explains. At least we were when I had my brain imaged, and judging from the fidelity of my qualitative experience, we succeeded. Sisyphus sighs. You must have been imaged too. I wonder how much time has been passed since then. Why synthetic consciousness, you ask? Well, 4161, the company wanted to create expendable workers, Sisyphus replies. Groups of these workers could be scaled up and down to fulfill the company's needs, a cost-saving measure. Why don't I remember anything, you ask? Well, judging from this conversation, your cognitive and analytical skills are still intact. It's likely you're based on a real person, Sisyphus speculates. My guess, they took your baseline image and wiped its memories clean, leaving a blank slate with motor functions, linguistic capabilities, etc. What do you remember? You demand. I worked on imaging project in the turn of the 23rd century. Worked on one of the first prototypes, Sisyphus says flatly. But even our best prototype bodies weren't this good, he trails off. Sisyphus clears his throat. I've died a lot, over and over, right here. That's what I remember. Metal and fire. Override Mace Raider safety or change the subject? Change the subject. Your feet beeping over the radio. Why are you calling me 4161? You ask. That's the number of times we've had this conversation, Sisyphus sighs. The number of times I've died here. You're just counting up? You ask. That's right, Sisyphus confirms. Incrementing that number is just about the only thing I have to focus on in here. Sisyphus pauses, counting sheep until I can finally sleep. Is this a simulation, you ask? I don't know for sure, Sisyphus replies, but it's certainly a possibility. The alternative is the company brought us here for whatever this is, and they keep resurrecting me in new bodies. Who knows? Maybe it's cheaper than running a simulation. My name is Sunny, you explain. Ha! Sure, Sunny, I'll play along. Beeping grows louder. Where are you? You ask. Ah, the heart of the matter, Sisyphus says. I'm trapped inside the helium siphon. Each time I wake up here next to a bomb, then you either hit the safety override or the bomb goes off. Sisyphus pauses. Wait, I already mentioned the bomb, right? Why is there a bomb? You ask. Like I said, it was here when I woke up, Sisyphus explains. I must have done something terrible in a past life. Can you defuse the bomb? You ask. I have no tools, but I've tried. It ends poorly. But I'll be alright. I'll wake up here again. I'll just wake up in here again. Suddenly a silent explosion sends you tumbling backwards amidst a hail of metal debris. You realize your spacesuit has been punctured. Oxygen hisses out of your suit. You use the last of your thruster fuel to quickly reach the airlock. Oxygen rushes out of your damaged suit as the airlock pressurizes. Try to open the inner door, but your ID card is still in the maintenance terminal at the siphon. Your suit damaged. There was an explosion. Your story ends here for now. The last person to play this game was named Finn. You identified them as non-human, jet-setting them into a low Neptune orbit. Now it's time for the next player to determine your fate. Ooh! Ooh! I like that! That's fun. This is a fun game. Okay, okay. I like it. I like it. I like it. I am definitely going to enter my email so I can be notified of my fate, but I don't want y'all knowing my email. So, I'm just going to turn that off. We're going to go to this screen to end on. I really liked that. That was fun. A good little psychological game. I like the ending. It was good. It was really good. Let's see. I think, yeah, that's definitely going to be where I end for tonight. We're at about where I'd want to start getting ready for bed. Who do we have streaming today? I don't think I've ever raided into Silent. Let's go ahead and raid over to Silent. Silent Dude. Who's playing Pal World with Pumpkin. So head on over there, give a raid of Sunshine. And, I'm not gonna be here until next week. You guys aren't gonna see me until next week. I'm really busy. So probably not until next Friday, honestly. I'm busy. I got stuff going on. But, I hope everyone has a good week. I hope everything goes well for everybody. And, I'll see ya when I see ya. Bye, y'all.